girl, and that girl goes by Charlotte Emily. Her grave in the end is next to Henry, marked 1980 to 1983. Oh, the bite of 83, perhaps. Here, okay. In Ultimate Costume Night, it isn't anything like the girl from the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Simulator Fruit Arcade minigame. There weren't. Hi, welcome back. I'm your host. This is an anime of Hagen, or you could call me Anime. Either one is perfectly fine, I do not care. I just finished all three of the Silver Eyes Five Nights at Freddy's. The first one, the first ever Five Nights at Freddy's graphic novel, an adaptation of the #1 New York Times bestseller, The Silver Eyes, 10 years after the horrific murders at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza that ripped their town apart. Charlie, whose father owned the restaurant, and her childhood friends reunite on the anniversary of the tragedy of find themselves at the old pizza palace, which had been locked up and abandoned for years. After they discover a way inside, they realize that things are not as they used to be. The 4 adult-sized animatronic mascots that once entertained Patreons have changed. They now have a dark secret and a murderous edge, complete with an information and tense, terrifying illustrations. Fans won't want to miss this graphic novel adaptation by Scott Chalkin, Perry Breed Wesley, and C.S., whose stunning artwork has been featured in the games. There's more Five Nights at Freddy's to explore. So, the first one is about Charlie and her friends who go back to the hometown, but they end up back at the old pizza place. And originally I was like, I don't know if I like Five Nights at Freddy's, and then I thought, this is something I would have liked as a kid. I was the type of person who liked scary things, but at the same time, this just reminds me of like a dark version of Chuck E. Cheese. And yes, I know I'm saying that it's not exactly like that. It's just interesting. Freddy is back with a twist in this sinister graphic novel adaptation of the #1 bestseller, Five Nights at Freddy's, The Twisted Ones. It's been a year since the horrific events at Freddy's Fazbear Pizza, and Charlie is just trying to move on with even with the excitement of a new school and a fresh start. She's still haunted by nightmares of a mass murder and 4 gruesome animatronic puppets. Charlie thinks her ordeal is over, but when a sinister series of bodies are discovered near her school, bearing wounds that are disturbingly familiar, she finds herself drawn back into the world of her father's frightening creation. Something twisted is hunting Charlie, and this time, if it finds her, it's not letting her go. With electrifying art from Anistor award-winning nominee artist Claudia, and even more horror than ever before, fans won't want to miss this graphic novel. This one's The Twisted Ones. This is book 2, because it does not tell you. And the one theme I noticed is Ella the doll. That's going to be important, because Ella is... And of course we have Freddy, I want to say Boxy Chica. Then we continue with the third novel, and this one has the bunny, which I can never remember the bunny's name. I think it's Toy Freddy. I think they call it Toy Freddy, but we'll look it up later. understand it a little more. I find it interesting, for sure. Okay. Based on the New York Times bestseller stories Five Nights at Freddy's, the graphic novel The Fourth Closet. Scott Conwan, Diane Kraber, adapted by Christopher. Okay, from the creator of the acclaimed horror video game comes the thrilling conclusion of the New York Best Time Sellers Five Nights at Freddy's trilogy. Oh no. Here. Oh boy. Hang on. Fuck. Earring to one of the backs. Weird. It's like the back didn't go all the way on. Bizarre. So fucking bizarre. It's also a little itchy. Okay. Let's continue. Bestseller trilogy. What really happened to Charlie is the question that John can't seem to shake, along with the nightmares of Charlie's seeming death and miracle reappearance. John just wants to forget the world's terrifying saga of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, but the past isn't so easily buried. Meanwhile, there's a new animatronic pizzeria opening in Hurricane, along with a new rash of kidnappings that feel all too familiar. Bound together by their childhood loss, John reluctantly teams up with Jessica, Marlowe, and Carlton to solve the case and find the missing children. Along the way, they'll find unreveal the twisted mystery of what really happened to Charlie and the haunting legacy of her father's creations, told through delightfully scary artwork from artist Diane, and even more horror than ever before. So, Jessica, and then I swear, John looks like Charlie's twin, but maybe I'm wrong. And then there's this Jessica in a red dress, but she's not Jessica. Jeez, it's Charlie in the red dress with earrings, but that's not really Charlie. Jessica's like, I'm not sure. John's like, that's not Charlie. And then this weird pizzeria that opens up that looks exactly the same as Five of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. And by the way, there was a freeze bears, similar restaurant before pizzeria. But I think this is the one that introduces, I want to say her name's Clown Baby, but I could be way off. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. She has the red hair, green eyes, and like red cheeks. And she said she ate a girl, which is disturbing enough. Jessica and then saved the kid. It talks about Charlie. Here's something. Quote, "My dearest Jenny, I've warped and twisted my surroundings to the point where I can never be sure if I'll ever settle into reality again. Even if I do manage to turn off everything planted in the walls made to deceive myself, the damage is done and far too great." And then it gets weirder. "I have my Charlie here with me, though she gives me no joy. I have poured agony into her, made her a reminder, not of what I once had, but of the unbearable pain of what was taken from me. Keep all the closets shut. Let them be tombs for my denial and my grievance, especially the fourth closet. Seal it, bury it. But my grief was already beginning to waken me to reality when I began what was to be her final stage. I had no choice but to chase my work, for I was only feeding my own delusion. My old faithful partner, who I only hope now is in a grave of his own, took what I had begun and made something of his own, something dreadful. I was able to stop him and to seal away what he made. Jenny, you must ensure that the seal remains. Then, someday, after many decades have passed and no one remembers, fill the house with every kind of flammable thing and burn it to the ground, standing close guard to put a bullet into anything that emerges from the rubble, no matter what or who it looks like. I'm going to be with my daughter. Love always, and to the end, Henry. Which is so messed up. But what's even more messed up is, if you don't want to spoil alert, don't listen to this podcast. At the end, we find out that both Charlies are not actually Charlie. One is the clown baby. But then, Sammy's alive. Don't you get it? He grew up. He doesn't even know you exist because you're not his sister. You're not Charlie. You don't even have the soul of Charlie. You're a ghost of a man's regret. You're the sad little tears that fell unceremoniously into a doll that used to belong to Charlie. And if I had to guess, it's right here. And she pulls out the doll from the other Charlie's chest. Which is so weird. I guess she's Charlie Ella. And the other one's Charlie Clown. Which is so bizarre. But both Charlies are like messed up. And then Clown Baby may have died. We don't know. We don't know if they both died because they're not really people. So they're not 100% people, that's for sure. It's not fair. I never had a life. I love you too, John. Charlie, no. And then they rescue some kids. And they found the souls of other kids and set the souls free. The other Charlie is alive. John goes to the cemetery. Okay, I almost died. I mean, you've been my friend since forever. Just like Marl and Carlton or Jessica, I love all my friends. Ugh. He looks in the wind and I want to say Charlie Ella is alive. And then it says Charlotte Emily, 1980 to 1983. She was, 3 years old then? Damn, that's messed up. Well, darker than I thought, but okay. I found some stuff online about this because I was like, wait, what happened to Charlie? Because they did not explain it at all about what happened to her. Like, what the real Charlie, not the fake Charlies. Okay. Not what you are looking for. See, Emily, my daughter, if you can hear me, I know you would return as well. It's in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die. No one was there to lift you up into their arms the way you lifted others into yours. And then, what became of you? I should have known you wouldn't be content to disappear. Not my daughter. Henry, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Simulator. Charlotte Emily, also known as Charlie, was the daughter of Henry Emily, which is a weird last name to me, but that's just it, who was murdered by William Afton after she was locked out of an establishment, becoming Anton's first victim. Okay, see, that's what they missed in the book. I mean, he did say, I chose you, not your brother. But it's like, okay, that doesn't mean much. She later possessed the puppet through the Five Nights at Freddy's series. Ah, she possessed the puppet throughout the Five Nights at Freddy's series. Okay, physical appearance. Because Charlie has only appeared in the minigames, her most detailed appearance is in the secret puppet minigames, which is mostly in black and white. She has light colored skin and has dark colored hair tied into a ponytail. Charlie wears a light blue colored shirt, dark colored pants, and dark colored shoes. She also wears a green bracelet that the puppet supposedly responds to. Even though Charlie appears in the Take Cake to the Children minigame, changes in the secondary puppet minigame, she returns a crying, fictional expression that shows her emotional state. Personality. Henry describes her as a caring, selfless, and noble person that constantly puts others before herself. Henry states it was always in her nature to protect the innocent. What the traits were cued even after becoming the puppet. When facing a deadly situation, she is shown crying before her death, indicating she was incapable of defeating herself and is fearful when facing danger. Speculation. I was the first. I have seen everything. This section achieves a lot of theories and speculation, which usually occurs for pre-release media or just things that are still unknown. So please keep that in mind while reading. The page will continue. In Ultimate Costume Night, it is unknown if the voice of the puppet is Charlie herself or the puppet's own voice. However, it is heavily implied that this is Charlie's voice that is speaking, since the voice does not sound robotic and sounds like it would fit a child like Charlie. However, this still needs to be determined. It is implied that Charlie was presented in the first game location as a ghost, as the puppet was seen in the end of the night cutscene from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. This was the case with the Golden Freddy, as both of them are animatronic ghosts with supernatural powers. The puppet was made specifically to protect kids, although could not save Charlie. However, if she was to be in trouble, the puppet would most likely save Charlie first. It could be seen that the puppet lied down because Charlie, while she is in the back, always dying. In the back alleyway dying, which could mean that it was trying to save her. Trivia, it takes cake to children. See, this is about the game, not the book. A little bit about Sammy. Let's see. Circus Baby, Charlie. Okay, here's some stuff. Charlotte Emily, she isn't gone. Okay, so here's some people reading. Oh my, oh my. If you read The Fourth Closet, then you know who Charlotte Emily or Charlie or Elizabeth. Y'all know who she is. And we all had the idea she was gone to the very family graveyard ending in the book, but Elizabeth, not known as Charlie Emily, said multiple times that there are still more than one of the Ella dolls that were used as Charlie's illusionary body. So if there were more, then maybe the ultimate costume night hinted that Charlie, Elizabeth, Emily is coming back, or maybe worse. In the book, Elizabeth stated that she was Charlie. She became the thing she was out of jealousy from her father's creation, Baby.